All right, everybody, we are back. I am so sorry about that. We had some very severe encoder issues. It wasn't an issue with resources or anything, but it was a very strange issue. A capture source got corrupted in the middle of cropping, and it wouldn't let me remove it, but we are on. We are just about ready to get going. I just got to get our runners here set and ready to go. But we are ready for this crowd control race, and just to briefly talk about it, the way this will work for crowd control, you'll be able to select which of the runners you wish to send effects to. So be sure before you send your effects that you're selecting the runner that you're intending to send them to, because this is a race, so effects don't go to both runners like that. It's up to chat to decide who they want to drive nuts and just how bad. So good luck to both of our runners. I am going to tell them that we are set here, and we'll get this underway. Alright, looks like one of our runners just needs a minute here to get set. And, it's likely my own fault, causing delays here. And them having to communicate with people, but it's all good. We are almost ready here. Hopefully we won't run into any more issues like this, moving forward, because we won't be capturing 2 streams at all moving forward. This is the only race that we have planned during the course of this event here, but we will give them the countdown. And we'll do what we can to synchronize once they get started, because I'm sure it's probably not synchronized. Don't worry, we will fix this. We have the technology. We can do it. Alright, and runners are off. And right off the bat, we've got a discrepancy in routing. We've got Palpiblade going straight for Drillman stage, and we've got Tom going to Brightman stage, having a bit of trouble. This is actually one of the reasons that many runners will end up doing either Bright or a lot of us do Pharaoh first, but Tom's going for Bright first, and I can't blame him because there's this first tricky jump here. He went ahead and waited for that enemy to go by before going for it, but he is through and ready to take on the rest of the stage, which by comparison for the most part is a little bit easier, but I wouldn't call it easy by any stretch of the imagination. Meanwhile, Palpy having a nice and easy breezy time getting through drill stage here. He's probably going to take a D-boost right here and go across these spikes, and there it is, all nice and charged up. So just to give you guys a little bit of info about Mega Man 4 and its unique things, because all the NES games have their unique things about them. Well, I was going to say save for 1 and 2, but even they have their weird, unique things. But at any rate, Mega Man 4, it introduces a longer slide than Mega Man 3 had introduced, which, by the way, Mega Man 3 introduced sliding, for anybody who didn't know. But Mega Man 4 also introduces the ability to charge your buster, but it's got a little bit of a quirk to it in that you have to actually physically fire a lemon before you can actually charge your buster. Mega Man 5 and 6 don't have this. You can hold B at any time and just charge up your buster, of course, barring during sliding in Mega Man 5. But aside that, usually you could just hold and charge. In this, if you didn't physically fire a lemon, it just won't charge. It's just like that. But that's one of the only quirks this game really has compared to any of the other ones, thankfully. We got Palpy against Drill Man here. Drill Man, as you can see, he just likes to burrow into the ground. That's just his shtick. That's what he does. Tom taking an unfortunate death. He didn't quite release his shot and get that enemy there. That very unfortunate. Very, very rough space to die. Another unique thing about Mega Man 4, I said that was the only quirk. I lied to you guys. There's another quirk to Mega Man 4 that's not usually thought about until things go wrong. And that is that Mega Man 4 is notorious for having very, very bad checkpoints. It is just awful. It's just awful. We got Zero Cancer in the chat asking, what are the fun things to throw at them? Well, I'm glad you asked. We can mess with gravity. We can make it randomly fluctuate up and down. We could give them an E-Tank, which they can use to refill their health. We can give them lives. We can give enemies invulnerability so that they can't be killed. We can give Mega Man invulnerability. We can mess with gravity to specifically make it high or low, which I believe is flipped. Tom taking another death in the pit there, actually taking a game over. Very unfortunate. Massive time loss on Tom's end, unfortunately here. Palpy is pulling far ahead. He's got Drill Man down. He's on his way through Dust Man stage, coming up to the notorious lag section. Speaking of lag, heads up, Palpiblade is definitely known to have internet issues, so we may see some periodic freezing and or frame skipping here and there. Don't worry, this is just normal for Palpy's internet. He has the unfortunate disadvantage of a slow connection, but he makes it work pretty well here. For the most part, this is going nice and smooth. But yeah, Tom's gonna really have... He's going to have his work cut out for him, to say the least, to catch up to Palpy here, being an entire stage and about a half behind at this point. Meanwhile, Palpy going through the Dust Crusher section here, getting through nice and easy peasy there. Oof, almost getting crushed, but you can abuse the slide a little bit to buy yourself some time and definitely get right through there. Tom taking a hit on the spikes now. What is happening, Tom? Tom, I have seen you do this. Oh, man. I'm not sure what effect Tom just got there, but his sprite does not look right, that's for sure. I have no idea what that is. I didn't catch the name of the effect that was sent there. Uh-oh. That jumping totem there. The totem enemies, normally we kill them off. Oh, is that what's going on? He's got half charge shots, rapid fire. That's pretty neat. He's enjoying that. Palpy facing off against Dustman here. Dustman, as you can see, he likes to do what we call, he gives you the suck, which is literally he sucks Mega Man towards him, and there's nothing you can do to him at that time. If you have enough health, you can bonk into him, but he does massive damage, like absolutely massive damage. The game feeds are flipped from the CC menu. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. It just kind of does it in the order that they joined. The race lobby. Sorry. I'm very sorry. Somebody definitely did do that to Tom. It was meant for Palpiblade during the Crusher section. Yeah, I apologize for that. I wasn't even aware that that was going to be a thing. So it's a little late to go and flip everything around on the layout, but let's just try to bear in mind, and I'll try to remind periodically as we go that the runner you're selecting will be on the opposite side in the crowd control menu compared to the layout. There we go. Tom getting across the final gap there in Bright Stage, and he is moving on to face Brightman himself. Palpy also in Bright Stage, catching up to Tom within the stage itself. Brightman here, he's a little funky. He'll jump around. He'll always jump at the first as the first cycle. He'll jump, and then he can either jump or he can shoot his Buster. When he shoots the Buster, I believe it's 3 shots every time that he decides to do it. 1, 2, 3, there it is, and then he decided to jump again. Tom's going to be attempting to avoid hitting specific health values for Bright, because at specific health values, Brightman will actually use his Flash Stopper and stop Mega Man. However, Tom managed to avoid it entirely by planting a lemon or two at just the right time instead of all charge shots, and managed to get through fairly clean for what that boss fight is. That's actually a difficult boss fight, I'm not gonna lie, at least for Buster only. Again, I got no idea what any percent is really like. Not something I personally run, but we're here doing Buster only anyway, so that's all that really matters at the moment. But at any rate, Tom is through with Brightman, and he's going to be moving on to Dustman's stage to go through the lag section and the Crusher and all that stuff. Palpy coming in to the Brightman boss fight himself. We'll see what Brightman's going to do to him, see if Palpy can avoid getting hit with the Flash Stopper. Which, interesting fact, in Mega Man 2, Flashman's weapon is the Time Stopper, I believe, and then in Mega Man 4, Brightman's is the Flash Stopper. Really weird choice by Capcom there, but that is how it goes. At any rate, looks like Palpy knew exactly what he was doing. He planted those lemons. He avoided getting hit with the Flash Stopper, and he is through another Robot Master. Tom dealing with the lag section, playing it a little bit careful, taking damage. I say careful because, spikes are definitely the worst thing. Spikes and pits are definitely the worst thing there. Hopefully Eddie will be nice. There we go. Tom got himself a big health pickup from Eddie. What a nice guy, actually helping us out. You know, that's another thing in Mega Man 4. I feel like Eddie helps out more commonly. Palpy going for Dive Man stage next, while Tom is handling the Crushers here on Dust stage. So Palpy's going to have to be mindful of a weird quirk that Mega Man 4, 5, and technically 6, even though 6 is weird and we won't get too into that, but 5 and 6 definitely share this. If there's any sprites over Mega Man, that could be a ladder, a cloud, or water itself, Mega Man cannot jump out of a slide. So you really got to be mindful about that going through the Dive Man stage here. Here we're going to see Palpy facing off with a big old whale. All you got to do is just jump and mash him down, and then he goes, and we'll see another one of those a little bit later in the stage. Something going on with Dustman there as he drops down. I don't entirely know what that was, but he looked like he was in iframes as he dropped down there. Must have been the result of one of the effects that folks in the chat are sending via crowd control, which since I'm mentioning crowd control again, I'm just going to mention one more time. Yes, indeedy, crowd control is enabled for this race, and apparently in the crowd control UI, our runners are reversed compared to what you see here on our layout. So if you wish to send things to Palpiblade, you'll want to click the runner on the right. If you wish to send things to Tom, you'll want to click the runner on the left. Alrighty, Tom is done with Dustman. Plenty of health there. He is solid. He is good to go. Actually had a pretty decent time with him. Didn't get hit with too bad of RNG, and didn't even have to sacrifice his health to make the fight work out. Meanwhile, Palpy coming into the Dive Man fight. He's got practically no health here, which is not good at all, but Dive Man, as long as he cooperates, can be done fairly easily, and maybe we'll see that here. As long as he does the dive missiles, which is what we want, you can pretty much sit on the other side of the screen and hit him with 3 charge shots, just like that. You got just enough time to do it every cycle. But however, Dive Man is going to dive horizontally towards Palpy, but Palpy manages to avoid the missile, takes him down, no sweat. He's through another Robot Master. Meanwhile, it looks like Tom's got some low gravity. Yeah, he's got some low gravity there. I guess the game's behaving as though he's underwater, except there's no water sprites in front of him, so I believe he should still be able to jump out of slides, which is going to be kind of important for a couple of sections of this stage here. Making sure to grab that safety big health there. Very good idea there. You can never be too healthy, especially in Mega Man 4, where everything is out to kill you. I mean, like all the Robot Masters, if you touch them, the contact damage is just insane. I believe it's like 8 damage or something like that for contact damage, which is entirely too much. At any rate, Tom making it through the rest of the drill stage here as Palpy tackling Skullman stage. Kuja, I thought it was supposed to. It doesn't seem to be, or I'm missing it. I'm completely unsure of why we're not seeing it. Given all the tech issues that we've been having today, I'm just gonna you know, I'm gonna call it nice and good that the effects are coming through and the race is even happening. We're doing good, all things considered. Is that what it is, Xanto? That might be the case. Maybe they either didn't set it or unset it. I'm not sure. You saw Tom's peeking out? Okay, good. I must just be missing it every time. It might be cropped out. That's unfortunately not on my end. I have the entire whatever's visible on their streams, I have it visible here on this stream. So we're getting what there is. But at any rate, Tom is dealing with Drillman with these little half-charge shots, and they're actually not helping him very much, because half-charge is about the same as a lemon. Honestly, it's still 1 damage. It's either all or none when it comes to charging in this game. So Tom is essentially stuck to lemons only, which isn't the end of the world, but this is one of the tougher bosses. Especially compared to the one Palpy's facing off against. You can see Drillman is going back and forth and shooting these drill bombs, and you can kind of time it out and get it done. Skullman, however, very easy. He's already dead even by the time I'm getting to start talking about him. You can manipulate him into 2 firing cycles by just moving left or right. Or not even necessarily move. You don't have to successfully move even. Just hold left or right, and he'll go through 2 firing cycles. So that locks him down for a few charge shots. You can shoot a charge shot into him before the skull barrier comes up. You can shoot another one after it. You can jump over him and shoot a couple more. Skull is a very easy boss by comparison to Drill. But both our runners did get through their respective boss fights and are moving on to their next stages. Palpy going into the ring stage. Alrighty, we got, like I said, Palpy in the ring stage. The beginning of this stage is notorious for being incredibly difficult to do quickly. Part of the reason is there's those ladders that you end up sliding up to all the ladders pretty much, and if you jump a little late, you might not get your jump because of the ladder sprite overlapping with Mega Man's sprite, and the game just deciding you don't get to jump. You got all those rainbow bridges, you got those turrets, you just got so much going on in the beginning there. It's very difficult to go fast, but what we're about to see here is a bit of a mid-boss, big ol' hippo. Normally, you have to knock down the tower and destroy the hippo. Palpy's gonna just knock the tower down some and hop right over what's left of it and just skip that hippo. Leave him back there. We don't need him. We don't care about him. Meanwhile, Tom in the Toad stage, through the most difficult part of the Toad stage and on to, or at least what I consider the most difficult part. It's very subjective, but on to the first of 2 snail mid-bosses. There are 2 of these bosses. Interesting thing about the snails, you can hit them before they fully teleport in, because they do teleport in. You can hit them on your way down with a charge shot. You can mash into them whenever their eyes are open. Tom's having a bit of trouble figuring out the timing here. Well, Callan, you know, honestly, I think they get queued, is what it is. But just to be safe, we do generally advise not to send any before a runner gets into a stage, at least for the first time. Like if they're sitting at the title screen or something, it might just not go through. But even still, just to be safe, we advise doing it while they're in stages. That way we know nothing's getting missed. Tom taking an unfortunate death to the snail, the second snail. Now that is going to set him back a little bit, and I know I said Mega Man 4 has notoriously bad checkpoints, and it's true, it does. This one, however, not so bad, honestly. Probably one of the better ones in the entire game. Besides, obviously, boss checkpoints where they exist. Palpy is now through the ring stage and fighting Ringman himself, which is very little, if any, RNG. It's pretty much just a dance, as you saw there. He was just jumping over the ring and just plugging them charge shots every opportunity that he got. And it seemed to work out pretty good there. He's through and ready to move on. Tom coming in for the Toadman fight. The toughest boss of all time. Toadman. No, Toadman is kind of a simpleton. He'll attempt to belly dance and make it rain acid rain and hurt Mega Man. This acid rain attack does cover the whole screen, so if he successfully pulls it off, there's no avoiding it. But other than that, he just pretty much jumps back and forth sometimes when Mega Man shoots. Basically, when you fire, he attempts to jump. And how close you are can have an impact on whether or not he does do the jump. Ooh, Palpy making the impossible jump there on Pharaoh, but getting knocked back down by the enemy's lemon. All he had to do was keep his toe on that ledge for a second, but didn't realize it in time, and he's going to be forced to do the rest of the stage, and he's going to be forced to do the rest of the run without the balloon, unfortunately. Balloon is very, very useful in most of the run after the 8 Robot Masters, and well, you do have Rush as a backup, and it's perfectly acceptable to use Rush, but it definitely hurts knowing that you're just not going to have that balloon, but that's okay. Palpy's moving along, he's doing good. Tom joining him in the Pharaoh stage now. We got the Scorpions on the quicksand, and anybody wondering, if you don't jump out of that quicksand, yes, you do sink and die. You will sink. There is a pit underneath that sand that you will fall into, and it will end your day. Tom playing it safe. He gets across the jump, and he is going to be going and grabbing Balloon, skipping a very, very small portion of the stage in the process, and he's going to have that Balloon for those Cossack and Wily stages later. All right, now we got Pharaoh Man up, and this is pretty much what he does. He'll either jump and not shoot, or he'll jump and shoot twice, or he'll do that little charge attack that we keep seeing him doing, which is exactly what you want him to do, because he'll just sit there. You can just charge, jump, and it's done. Palpy's looking for a pixel perfect exit here. We'll see if he gets it. I can't see the pixels well enough to call it ahead of time. Didn't quite get it. Looks like he was off by 1 pixel to the right. Another little quirk about Mega Man 4, but this is a positive one. If you're in the exact center when the boss finished fanfare finishes playing, then you'll actually skip the jumping animation. Mega Man will immediately pull in the power and just leave. It's not a massive skip or anything, but you definitely get 8 chances to do it in the run, so it does add up. You're probably only talking 7 or 8 seconds at most. Oh no, Palpy not managing to come up with the jump out of the slide there. Another unfortunate thing. Palpy got a little too close to the ledge, to the next ledge, which was 2 tiles above the one he was standing on. And what that means is Mega Man will think he can't stand, and he'll just try to continue to slide. But there's a pit, so he continues to slide and falls into the pit. And speaking of the pit, Palpy made it a little bit further this time, but he is into that pit again. Now this is what I was talking about before when I was saying that Toad stage is a dangerous stage, and this is the most dangerous section in my opinion. The next section is almost equally dangerous, but this one is really bad. I mean, a lot of things have to go just exactly right, especially to go fast through this segment. Palpy not able to come up with the fast strats, but making it through. Better safe than sorry for sure. Tom moving on to the Ringman stage, ready to deal with the beginning of the stage being what it is, which is just painful, to say the least. Palpy coming up to his first snail, and he does land that shot on the way down. He's just charging up and mashing when the eyes are open. That is the strat. You can do it in 2 to 4 jumps usually, depending on your mash, depending on your timing, and depending on whether or not you got that shot on the way down. Now, this one on the way down is a little harder to get. Palpy almost got it. This one you actually have to aim about where the eyes are, and that just has to do with the general layout of the room. You have, what is it, like 6 tiles? Maybe it's only 4 to 6 tiles extra between you and the snail when you first drop down. So your shot has to come out a little better aimed compared to the first one. But Palpy's coming into this final section with these fish and these spikes, and he is through and ready to take on Toadman. Meanwhile, Tom's still dealing with the Ringman stage, the beginning of the stage. It is just mean, to say the least. This beginning of the stage is just mean. There we go. We got a little jump action from Toadman. Palpy's a little bit farther from Toadman than Tom was when he was fighting him, so we'll probably see some more jumps in the fish, and Tom floundering a bit. Oh no. Hello there, Robert Douglas. Welcome. Looks like Tom's going to go for a bit of health here. We'll see if he backtracks to that other. Yes, he does. That's actually a very good idea. He was very, very dangerously low on health there, so cannot blame him one bit. Palpy is through the hardest boss of all time, Toadman. Tom dealing with this little ring mid-boss. He wobbles back and forth 3 times, and then he opens up, and that's basically how you know when to fire your shots. But Tom is through him and on to the next hippo, because this stage decided it needed 4 mid-bosses, 2 hippos and 2 ring guys. Tom just brings that tower down nice and fast, hopping over that hippo and on his way forward to the rest of the stage, which there's not a whole lot of it left. But speaking of not a whole lot left, Palpy is through the 8 Robot Masters, and he is on to the Cossack stages. Some of you have been here for the Mega Man 3, the Mega Man 5, the Mega Man 6, all that stuff. You saw we get a castle with 4 stages. And then we get the Wily Castle with 4 stages. Mega Man 4 is no different in that respect. 8 castle stages in total. And this is the first of them. Tom coming into the Ringman fight now. He's going to do the dance of death with Ringman, while Palpy attempts to navigate these very dangerous jumps. It would really be a shame if all of a sudden the gravity changed and Palpy didn't make these jumps. I'm just saying, it would really be a shame. You know, I sure hope that doesn't happen to him. But anyway, Tom making it through the ring fight, no problem. Here, Palpy is going to have to use Coil, Rush Coil, in order to make these jumps. He's going to have to use it at least 3 times. He may go for a 4th, and we're not going to slight him for it, because this is a pixel-perfect jump to get from here to the ladder. And it has to be a slide in order to squeeze those extra couple pixels at the ledge there. Thought CC wasn't working on Palpy. It should be. It should be. You would just have to select the runner on the right in the UI, which I haven't brought up in a little while, so it's probably worth addressing once more. It has to do with, apparently, the order they joined the lobby in. This is something we just didn't know about. Weren't really able to test either, because you have to be live to mess with the extension itself. But apparently the order they join the lobby in determines which side they're on in the UI. And the layout is what it is at this point. Considering all the weird crashes and things we had earlier, I'm not gonna touch it. It's working, and I'm gonna let it work. Palpy letting the moth destroy the entire floor in 1 tile there and dropping right through. And here we go. This is what I was talking about earlier with Mega Man 4 and its checkpoints. Look at this. Palpy is halfway back through the whole stage. Traditionally in Mega Man games, if you die at a boss, you just respawn right in the chamber before the boss there, between the boss gates, right? No, not Mega Man 4. Not in the castle stages of Mega Man 4. You just go back half of the stage in Mega Man 4 because they thought that was a good idea. And this is still my favorite of the NES games. But it's okay. I mean, Palpy's got quite the comfortable lead. I don't think he has to worry too much. Tom making his way through Dive Man stage, very low on health, just picking up an extra 1-up. Anybody who was here earlier for the Mega Man 5 run may remember that I mentioned Mega Man 5 reference is what we call it when 1-ups drop like crazy. Mega Man 4 does it too, but we will still call it Mega Man 5 reference because that is tradition. Alright, Palpy has made the jumps again with Coil, Rush Coil there. He's on the ladders, dealing with the nonsense ladders. Now, in any percent, runners will typically just like fire a couple of balloons and skip straight to the last ladder, but this is Buster only, so he's got to go up and down all those ladders there. All 5 of them. There's just no choice in the matter. Alright, Tom is done with Dive Man. I believe he just has 1 Robot Master remaining. And then he'll be joining Palpy in the castle stages here. And with a little luck, maybe Palpy will fall into this pit again. Give Tom a little more time to catch up some. Nothing I love more than a race that starts off with a massive gap between our runners, but then ends with a nice exchange of lead. I love it. Kuja, I have heard that high and low gravity are reversed compared to what they sound like. High gravity sounds like you wouldn't be able to jump very high. However, apparently it is reversed. So, a little beyond my control, unfortunately. Just another thing I'll have to note and report to the folks at Crowd Control, and hopefully in the future that'll be corrected. But as it stands, from what I've heard, high and low gravity are swapped. And if you just don't know which one to do, you could always hit them with the flux gravity, and that just... they're not going to know what to do about it. I'm just calling that out loud. I just call them both out. They're not going to know what to do with flux gravity, so... Alright, Palpy does not have balloons. I don't think he knows the balloon strat anyway just yet, so he's going to go ahead and he's going to hop on the Rush Jet here. He's not going to fire lemons. He's not going to kill these enemies. He's just going to either take the hits or jump over them, one or the other, whatever he manages to do. Staying high there, trying to prevent them from, well, not prevent them from spawning, but make them despawn. Tom coming into the final section of Skull stage here. It's a little bit dangerous depending on the strats you're going for. It looks like he's playing it a little bit safe. Definitely a good call. I would personally also take the 1 or 2 second time loss, or whatever it happens to be, somewhere in between, instead of ending up dying and going back a fair amount. Palpy continuing to use Rush Jet to get up to that ledge, not a problem, perfectly allowed, especially since he doesn't even have the balloons, so just is what it is. We'll see how Tom handles those sections when he gets to them, because he does have the balloons, but I'm not sure if he's ready for the balloon strats on the spikes or not in Cossack 2 there. I'm very curious to find out, but at any rate, Tom has dispatched his last Robot Master, and he is ready to move on to the Cossack Castle. Alright, Palpy is now facing off with the Square Machine. This is technically another Devil classification boss, but built by Cossack. This boss, you have to get inside it to fight it, obviously, as you can see there, and you only get a little bit of time to dish out some damage. And what you get besides that is this heavy RNG, where he'll either come on the screen 1 time, 2 times like we just saw, or 3 times before he comes together. Obviously, you want anything but 3. But there's no known manipulation or anything. He just does what he wants. This is an example of a 3, and you can tell by the speed. He starts off nice and fast, now he's at a medium pace, and now he's going to come in nice and slow, come together, and give Palpy another damage opportunity here. If a brief one. Now, if done perfectly, you can just barely squeeze in 3 charge shots per cycle on this boss, but It's not easy, to say the least. It's not easy to get that to actually go through like that. Tom making his way through the dangerous jumps of Cossack 1 here. No big deal, and he is equipped with the balloons, so he should be able to use those effectively here. Palpy getting a dangerously low health at this point. He seems to be taking at least one hit per cycle. Tom taking a hit and being forced downwards, shooting a bunch of extra balloons. Not sure what that's about. He's, okay. What Tom's doing is technically illegal, but due to the gap between our runners, I think we're just going to allow it. I don't know what that was all about with all those extra balloons, but that is not actually legal to do in Buster Only. I'm not sure what he's going for here either. I hope he doesn't utilize one of those balloons that he keeps firing. And I'm really not sure what he's going for. You're confusing me, Tom. Stop it. Guess it didn't help with the ladder section. Well, you know, those gravity effects, they're not always there to help. Tom's definitely having a bit of a struggle with this section here. I will say it's not the easiest thing. I mean, when you get a feel for it, it's one thing, but until you do, these guys here are kind of they're just jerks. I mean, they're in your way. They are in your way. You need them to go to the top of the screen. Tom might just be waiting out the gravity effects to make sure he can make it to the next ladder. Maybe that's what's going on. For some reason, he just keeps firing to the left instead of jumping. I don't understand. And Palpy's still struggling with the square machine here too. I would say this is giving Tom a chance to catch up, but I'm legitimately just not sure what. I'm not sure what he's doing. I just don't know. He's showing us his controller. Maybe he's having a controller issue here. It looks like he's jumping every time he fires. Maybe Tom is having some controller issues here. I just don't know. But either way, Palpy made it through the square machine there, and he's going to be moving on to Cossack 3. This is everybody's least favorite type of stage. Well, not everyone's, but most speedrunners' least favorite type of stage. This is an auto-scroller here. Once Palpy begins moving, there we go. The stage begins scrolling at a set pace, and there's not really anything you can do to save time on these auto-scroller segments. However, when enemies pop up, you can kill them to attempt to reduce lag if and when it may arise. Here we have little bits of lag here, just from the sheer number of sprites on screen, but no big deal. We're through it. Tom facing off with the Mega Moth. Hopefully he won't end up dropping into that pit. It looks like he's doing a similar setup to what Palpy did when Palpy wound up falling in. I hope it doesn't happen. Looks like he's doing pretty good here. Uh-oh, that shot tinked off. Just a slight mistime on the shot. Alright, now here we have the small segment that's not auto-scroller. And then you come up here, and it's auto-scroller again. Alright, Tom is through Cossack 1. He beat the Mega Moth, and he's ready to move on to Cossack 2. We'll see how he's going to handle the Spike segment, and a couple other things as well. But I mean, in particular, the Spike segment has me intrigued, because I don't know if Tom knows the balloon strats. And actually, I think he's out of balloon anyway, so he might just completely not do that. We'll see. Palpy contending with these weird platforms that like to move up. They try to move up at all times. They've got a set pace they do, though, and they react to Mega Man's weight, I guess, and Mega Man can literally weigh them down. This last one here, if you jump up high enough with it like that, it just despawns, and you're able to just drop right down immediately, rather than the slow wait that the developers had intended you to go through. Tom, unfortunately, approaching that spike section I've been waiting for and taking a death to the spikes immediately. I unfortunately missed exactly what happened there. Palpy now fighting this boss known as the Cockroach Twins, which is pretty much what it is the top one comes out, you charge shot him, second one comes out, you want to hit him with charge shots, but you got to expect him to stop moving too. He will stop moving and he'll fire, and then he'll go around. You can actually hit him with two charge shots and a follow-up lemon and take him out in 2 cycles, but it's a little bit tight. It is just a little bit tight in order to pull it off, but either way, the main thing is to stay out of them spikes, because even if you beat the boss, if you fall into the spikes, you still take that death, unfortunately. Tom trying real hard not to end up in spikes and trying to fill his balloon up, firing a balloon. I'm not too sure what's going on with all the extra balloons that Tom's been firing. Definitely gonna have to ask him about that if there's time for a post-race interview. I don't know if there will be. Oh boy. I don't know what to say about that one. It looks like he really is having a controller issue. Look at this. Every time he jumps, he fires a shot. Every single time. I think he's got a controller issue. I wouldn't blame him if he took a minute to fix it. I'm just saying. Well, at any rate, Tom is not intentionally killing these enemies here. That's normally not allowed at all. But since he's being forced to fire every jump for some reason, he just doesn't have a whole lot of choice in the matter. We're not going to disqualify him for it. But man... Alright, here we go. Palpy up against the Cossack Claw Machine. This is gonna finish off the Cossack boss here, or the Cossack stages here. Dr. Cossack himself, the man, the myth, the dum-dum. He was completely manipulated by Wily, as we won't find out during the text that's going to be skipped. Little note about him, if you're sliding to the right, he can't move. More than a pixel anyway. And also, as you saw, he still had 2 health left, but yet he's dead. His health bar is, it's a phenomenon. We don't fully understand it. We just don't, at least I don't fully understand it. Sometimes, I've seen him die with 4 health. I've seen him not die with 0. Cossack do what Cossack want to do, but lo and behold, surprise, surprise, it's Wily yet again. Go figure. I mean, by this point, it's kind of like, you know, who was it gonna be? Carmen Sandiego? I mean, come on. Gasp! Who saw that coming? Not I. Not I. Alrighty. So Palpy is gonna be moving into the Wily stages, of which there are 4. And this first one is basically just Met Central. It is absolutely loaded with these little Met enemies. And to no surprise, even the boss is a Met. I mean, what do you expect? Go through an entire stage filled with nothing but Mets. Of course it's gonna be that way. Meanwhile, Tom facing off with the square machine here, looking to be in very good shape health-wise, with the square machine not looking so good itself. It's all about the Mets today, baby. That's right. All right, Palpy has made it to the Yoku sections. These are the only couple of sections with Yokus in this entire game. Everybody's favorite appearing, disappearing blocks. Yoku roughly translates to something like reoccurring, something like that. So that's why those are called Yoku blocks. As you can see, they do reoccur, but there you go. Those two screens, that was it. We're done with them. All done. There was an E-tank there. It looks like Palpy is going to turn back and grab that. Good move. I always like to grab that E-tank myself because sometimes you need it just for this boss. This boss, known as the Met Daddy. I don't know if that's the canon name, but that's what we all call it. It's the Met Daddy. And he will either delay his jump like he just did there, allowing you the opportunity to shoot him with 2 charge shots and then a third one after the jump before he hides, or he won't delay it and he'll just be a jerk and take your health. If you're on the ground when he stomps, it does stop you. It knocks Mega Man on his butt. It's very brief, but I mean, you saw Guts Man earlier. It's a similar effect, and it can mean death. Sometimes it doesn't mean anything, sometimes it means death. It just is what it is in that respect, but Palpy managed to get through, didn't even have to pop that E-tank that he grabbed up, and he is going to Wily 2. Now, Wily 2 is a bit of a weird stage with a bit of a weird boss on top of it, but nothing too terribly difficult, honestly. It's just a longer stage. It is named the Metal Daddy. I kind of had a feeling that it might be. Uh-oh, Palpy way overshooting the jump there. It's just a 2-tile gap there, but he moved himself 3 tiles to the left, eating that spike, and actually allowing Tom a chance to catch up just a teeny bit here. Up into more spikes. Tom gonna catch up a little bit further. Only a little tiny bit though. I mean, he's really only gaining like maybe 12 seconds tops here. But as long as Tom doesn't experience any more deaths here, he'll be in not good shape, but he'll be catching up a little bit. Just a little bit. Tom coming to the end of the auto-scroller here, ready to take on the Cockroach Twins. Firing that last lemon to make sure he's charged up and ready to go. Palpy gonna have to use a little something here. Looks like he's gonna opt for Jet in order to reach this ladder here. Unfortunately, there's just no choice. You gotta use something to reach that ladder. It is one of the last uses of non-buster things. It's not the last. We'll see the second to last on this stage, I believe. But we won't see the last until the very end, unfortunately. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. Tom facing off of Phase 2 of the Cockroach Twins, the second twin. Trying to get in them sneaky extra shots there. Not quite able to come up with the timing on the second charge shot. It is a tight window, to say the least. But luckily enough, the Cockroach Twin did stop on the wall there, right in the perfect spot for Tom to be able to plug that extra lemon in and take that last bit of health away from the boss. And he is going to be moving on to the final Cossack stage here. Meanwhile, Palpy here in Wily 2, taking on all the things and all the stuff, climbing the ladder, going up to face what I used to think were giant vacuum cleaners when I was a child, but apparently they're more like gumball machines or something like that. I don't know what they really are. Oh no, Palpy not jumping off the edge there. He might have thought he could make it with a slide off the ledge. Not quite. That is a game over, and a costly one at that. That's going to send him back to the beginning of Wily 2 here. Meanwhile, Tom just making steady headway through Cossack 2, taking some damage along the way, but not too many spikes or anything in his path at this point, so he's still, relatively speaking, sort of safe here. And also, maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. It looks like Tom managed to solve his controller issue at this point, I think. So, he is gonna be doing just fine now at this point, hopefully, for the rest of the run. That was quite the weird issue and quite the bad issue. There's so many times where you need to jump and specifically not shoot. So it's good to see that he's operating normally now. And hello there, Shadow. I see you, sir. Hello, welcome. Today is an unusual stream. We are raising some money for Zero Prostate Cancer, trying to fight some cancer and throw some lemons in the process to do it. And for anybody who's just now arriving, crowd control is enabled. If you want to mess with our runners, just bear in mind that within the crowd control UI, the runners are swapped compared to what you see. Palpiblade will be on the right and Tom on the left in the UI. Despite what the layout is, that is something that is it was an unknown, and it is a little beyond control at this point. It just is what it is. All we can do is try to help make sure folks are aware of it. So here we go. We got Tom facing off with the Cossack machine. He is very low on health, but he is going to go ahead and he's manipulating a little bit. I don't know what the extra jumps are about, but basically, as long as you're sliding to the right, there's not really much anything this guy can do to you. There it is. Cossack down. Tom's going to be moving on to the Wily stages. Meanwhile, Palpy facing off with the Taco Trash, or Taco Trash, something like that. T-A-K-O Trash. This boss has a finicky hitbox, and it has some weird and interesting hitbox things that we won't be seeing because this is Buster only. But if you hit it with what is it? The drill bomb, I think it is. Ooh, taking a nasty death there towards the end of the fight. Unfortunate. But Palpy's not out of lives yet, but he does have those unfortunate Mega Man 4 checkpoints to deal with. He's about halfway back down through the stage. Just is what it is, you know? The Mega Man 4, it hates us all. It does. I love it anyway, but it still hates us. So this is what's supposed to be one of the last uses of non-Buster stuff. One of. Not the, but one of. But Palpy's having a little trouble getting rushed to land on the proper tiles so that he can be used, and these bats aren't really making it any easier. But at any rate, what I was trying to say about that boss, Taco Trash, whatever, was that if you hit it with the drill bomb, it actually just kind of like destroys most of its hitbox, and you can just walk inside of it safely and jump up and deal damage to it. It's the weirdest thing. I haven't seen it elsewhere in all of Mega Mandom. I have not seen that, but it is Taco. I thought it would be. I've heard it both ways, and I just don't know. But being Japanese, I would assume it's Taco, something like that. But at any rate, Tom is coming through the water section of the Met stage here. Wily 1 coming up to the Yokus, the two and only two Yoku screens in this entire game. Looks like he's getting along just fine. It can trip you up a little bit sometimes because of the Yokus that appear directly over one another. It's like if you don't get the jump at the right time, you end up having to wait the cycle, and if you do it here, I mean, you're dead. So thankfully Tom made it right through. Palpy dealing once again with the Taco Trash, and this guy, he'll lob balls at you. You can bait those to avoid them. He'll also throw fireballs at you, and you've got these platforms you can utilize, but you usually don't because they're not as helpful as they look like they would be. They're more of a distraction than anything, in my opinion. I mean, there are times that they come in handy, but there's a pretty big random factor involved in it. But at any rate, Palpy ate that E-Tank up and is through the boss. So he is moving on to Wily 3. Can anybody take a guess as to what Wily 3 is going to be? You've seen a number of these classic Mega Man games at this point. They're not all the same, but they're all similar-ish when it comes to Wily 3 or 4. Time's up. It's the refights. He's got an E-Tank and a 1-up he can grab right off the bat here. He's going to forego the 1-up. Not a bad move. I mean, it's not very common to die, I would say, in the refights. Now, the machine, maybe. The machine can be a bit of a chore, but we'll see. I mean, he's got plenty of E-Tanks. He shouldn't have to worry about that. There's no pits, there's no spikes, nothing of that sort. No instant death shenanery going on. So, there's a secret menu if you press the start button full of awesome secret weapons. You mean the dev menu? The developer menu for testing? And that's all cheats there, I thought. It's all cheats. Alright, Palpy's going to be facing off against the 8 Robot Masters here. Tom is going to be trying desperately to catch up. He is only one stage behind at this point. He's probably terrified that he's incredibly far behind. And I mean, yeah, he's behind, but you know what? Considering the gap there was and the horrible, horrible things that Tom had happening to him throughout this run, honestly, he's caught up significantly. This is actually a very pleasant surprise to see Tom so well caught up, and all it's going to take is just a little bit of luck, and he might be able to catch up even more here. We'll see. But while he tackles Wily 2 with a million balloons there, oh, it would seem he did not solve the controller issue. It looks like charging is his solution. Very weird. But at any rate, let's talk about these refights a little bit, because these refights have some unique mechanics to them. For starters, in this game, you can actually charge your Buster before entering a refight room, and it will carry over. Palpy taking a death to Bright Man. Tom's going to have an opportunity to catch up just a little tiny bit more with that death there. It's not a huge cost, but it was near the end of the fight, so I mean, he's got the whole fight to do again. But at any rate, as you can see, Palpy managed to carry that charge shot, well, as much of it as he had anyway, into the room with him. And on top of that, this is the only area in the game, and it is one of very few games wherein there is any situation wherein this can happen. But if there is a double knockout situation against one of these refight bosses, as long as it's not a game over, that boss will still count as dead. It does give you that victory. In no other situation in this game, or most of the other games in the entire franchise, does it actually decide to go in your favor if there's a double knockout. But in this game, the refights, they do give it to you. Alright, Tom is done with Wily 2 and moving on to Wily 3. He is catching up to Palpy. I don't know if Palpy knows it, but Tom is catching up to him. And it's also worth noting that to synchronize things, we had to pause Tom's stream for a little bit. So, I mean, what we're seeing is even a little bit further behind anyway. Tom's slightly further than he appears to be. Slightly. Looks like Tom is going to go for that extra 1-up on the first screen. Palpy dealing with the Dive Man refight. Tom just taking the drops here on the way to the refights. It is quite the drop to get to these refights. I mean, you come down all these screens to get to this boss door, and then you teleport, and then what do? You drop down a bunch more, just to find 8 familiar teleporters that we've seen for the last 3 games. Including this one, that is, of course. Tom's gonna go counterclockwise strats here. Palpy, taking all of the damage to Toadman. Not too sure what that's all about there, but at any rate, he's now blasting him with the lemons. I don't know why he's not charging, but he's hitting him with the lemons. Maybe he's a little nervous that he'll get hit by the acid rain again if he tries to charge. Reasonable. Very reasonable. Tom dealing with Drillman first. I think this is probably the reason that Tom actually goes counterclockwise, is just because of Drillman, because he's such a pain. Palpy bringing Toadman down to 1 health and jumping into his hitbox for a game over and an exchange of lead. Tom is now in the lead after being multiple stages behind for almost literally the entire run. We have an exchange of lead. Tom is now in the lead in the refights, and all he has to do is play it safe and bring it home, and he can taste victory. The choice is his, but then again, it's also yours. After all, crowd control is enabled for this race. Friendly reminder again that the crowd control UI is reversed. If you pick the runner on the left in the UI, they will apply to the runner on the right in the layout, and vice versa. Apologies for that mix-up. It wasn't known to us that it would end up panning out that way, but it, you know, it is what it is. All we can do is try to make you guys aware of it, but there is plenty of time to have your own effects on the outcome of this race here, if you do desire and are able. And yes, that's true, Coco. I did say Toad is the hardest boss. He just is. Looking Toad will agree with me, I'm sure. He's just standing. Yeah, I can imagine that scenario. Toadman just standing there in the room by himself, like, this has never happened before. What do I do when I win? I'm not programmed to win. Error. Alrighty. Tom taking down Dive Man. Palpy coming into the Bright Man refight. Tom coming into the Toad Man refight. Uh-oh, watch out, Tom. This toad has teeth and he bites. You better watch out. He took Palpy out. He put you where you are, and he could take it all away if he wants to. However, he's really not programmed to win, so he's probably not gonna. There we go. Nice and easy. Tom's got this. Easy peasy. Toadman is a great measure to test one's tolerance for failure. He will take you to the limit of your gaming ability and beyond. Only through Toadman can you ascend to a level even further beyond. Palpy taking on Skullman refight, placing them charge shots and making sure to move so that he'll do 2 firing cycles. 1 firing cycle for Skullman is 3 lemons. You saw him put out 6 there. You literally can just force it by holding left or right on the D-pad. Doesn't even matter if you actually successfully move. You just have to be holding the direction and you're good to go. We got nice and easy Dustman. Nice and easy Dustman there for Tom. We got, interesting enough, we got a Ringman that's in iframes when he drops down. Now we saw Dustman have that effect earlier, and I still am not. I'm not sure what that's really about. But either way, it seems like the boss is functioning properly, and that's all we really need. Tom doing that dance with him. Palpy looking to get a little bit of revenge. Uh-oh, we have a bit of a freeze on Tom's side. Okay, we're good. We're good there. Palpy hoping to get some revenge here. He's using the charge shots instead of all lemons. Getting a little bit hit, but comes up with a nice easy victory this time. Very, very, very excellent. He's got his revenge. Toadman is no more. All is right in the world. We don't have to worry about existence being undone suddenly. The fabric of time unraveling because Toadman won. We're all safe. We exist. We're real. I promise. Are we real? We are 9P. We are real as long as we think we're real. That's the way the universe works. I'm pretty sure of it. Alright, Tom facing off against the machine here. This machine, the first phase, it fires those 3 shots. Like, as you can see, its hitbox actually extends pretty low, like you saw with that last shot that Tom fired. And if your last shot on that first phase of the boss entails an extra lemon, I don't know the exact specifics of it. I know how to do it. I can execute it, but I don't know the exact specifics of it. But you can literally skip his health refill. Very minor time save, but at least you don't have to listen to for 4 seconds, you know? Tom taking a ton of damage here. He does have E-tanks. He is going to go ahead and use one. And, yeah. He is going to make it. He is going to make it work. He's going to make it work, and he is going to total this boss. Palpy dealing with the Pharaoh Man refight. Getting a little beat up, but nothing too serious. He'll be able to recover right here. Full health again. All is well and good. Palpy is on to the machine as well. This has actually gone from a significantly, largely gapped race to something a little bit tight where I mean, I'm leaning towards Tom probably being the victor, but I can't say with certainty who's going to be the victor here. I mean, again, crowd control's still enabled. Anybody could decide to do anything they want to do. Either of the runners could slip up. I mean, anything can happen here. But since we are coming in to the final stage here with the final boss, I guess it's time to talk about that a little bit. So this is Buster only, right? However, we have a bit of a problem here. The last boss can't be damaged by the Buster. So he's actually only got 2 vulnerabilities, one of which is Ringman's weapon, the other is Pharaoh Man's. We're going to see Tom going for Pharaoh Man's weapon, and he is going to go ahead and charge that up early. You can see he's already got it nice and charged above his head, and he's going to be going for a fancy little strat where you can actually get 2 hits per cycle, just like that, because the projectile above Mega Man's head will deal damage to enemies if it touches them. And for some strange reason, he still gets to throw a fully charged projectile after the fact. Very handy for this fight. We love it. But Tom is just about done here. He's about to wrap this up neatly with a bow. Palpy coming into the final stage here. There it is. We have our victory. It took a little longer than estimated. I mean, you know, it's hard to estimate a crowd control race, but we had tons of weird things going on in this race. GG's to Tom. Fantastic comeback. I mean, seriously, he really got it rough. He really got it rough almost the entire run, but he came back, he pulled it together, and, you know, he finished strong. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Shoutouts to both of our runners. They did a great job here, especially considering the pressure they're under and the additional effects from crowd control. The fact of having to race. And at least in Palpy's case, I'm not too sure about Tom, but not the most practiced runner of this particular game. Palpy is a fantastic runner. He holds the world record for Mega Man 10 Buster only, and he's hot on my heels for Rockman and Forte, which, speaking of, shoutouts to Working, took my record from me. But at any rate, GG to Palpy, finishing nice and strong. It was a fairly close race considering all that happened. Couldn't be more pleased with this. This was great. But there you have it, folks. Crowd control is now officially disabled, so please hold on to your coins until later, because we will have an X1 100% crowd control enabled run. It's not what's coming up next, it's coming up later, but it will be coming up at some point in time here. We are quite far behind on the schedule at this point, unfortunately, so we're going to do our best to move along. Bear with me, I have to type a message or two here. But we are... You might have been a little too late, Sapphire Drew. I apologize for that. There is unfortunately absolutely no way to offer refunds through crowd control. I do apologize for that. I would love to do it if it were a possibility, but unfortunately it is not. This is why we're constantly trying to urge people, you know, while they're in the stages, maybe not while they're on the final boss or something like that, you know, but there is definitely more crowd control coming up later. At any rate, looks like our runners are closing up their streams and things, so we're going to go ahead and close that stuff and hopefully get some music going here for you guys so we can set up for what's coming next, which is, as you can see on your screen there, we got Chill Dragoon. They're going to be running Mega Man Battle and Chase, a game I am not very familiar with. I know of its existence. I've never seen it, so this will be interesting to me. They'll also be running Mega Man Power Battles 1 and 2 immediately following that run, each with an estimate of 10 minutes. I know you can see 45 minutes. That's just Battle and Chase there, but 10-minute estimates on the next 2 games as well. Just in case we don't go to intermission. I don't know if we will or won't, but at any rate, we're going to begin hopefully setting up for that now if Chill Dragoon is ready. And yeah, bear with us, folks. We shall return.